Hey, long time no see. I'm saying that because I just finished recording a tutorial for that. Like the entire armor. So if this video goes out before that one, hi future me or hi past me. Hi me. Hey guys, it's Ashton from Ashton Warrior Props, and today we're painting the Crest shield from Dark Souls. Look how pretty this thing is, by the way. It's awesome. Very happy. Very much love it. I finished this and I got bullied. Everybody was like, hey, I want to know how you paint that, you lazy asshole. Go ahead and record a video, you stupid head. And I said, fine, okay. And I did. I released a YouTube short when about a period of time ago, covering how I painted this. And then I said I was going to go more in depth. So today's that day. We're going to go more in depth.
Today is the day we're going to champion.
I'm going to put this shield down somewhere. There. I'm just going to hold it. So, for starters, there is a free template on my website and a video that went out about how to build this. The template is 100% for free, and the build covers literally how to build this. And today I'm going to show you how I painted this. Now, for starters, I will be using paints that not everybody has access to. I know that can be a giant pain in the ass, and I am sorry. I will do my best as I do more paint videos to try to find. I just fought you with this last time. I'm not doing it again. There you go. Behave. I will do my very best to make sure I can find potential alternatives or use methods that are accessible to all, or as accessible as I can possibly be. This build should not scare too many people away, solely because this is not a whole lot of airbrushing and HVLP gunning. Well, that's not true. There's some of it, but this can be done entirely by your hands. You don't need special tools for this. That nice, realistic, reflective gold on there, that is nothing but hand painted. Let's get into this. As for starters, we are going to seal and prime this with Plastidip. Now, you will see me use Plastidip with my HVLP gun here. That is just because I like buying the gallons now and pumping it through the HVLP gun. It comes out super, super, super smooth. You do not need an HVLP gun to spray Plastidip. Totally fine. I added some texture to this as well. So if you get it right out of the can, completely fine. Now, one thing I did that I didn't record me doing was before I primed this, I took some Super 90 spray tack. In the game, it has this cool texture going up and down the blue. So I sprayed a nice layer of that Super 90 spray tack all over this to kind of get that cool spider web and kind of hammered metal effect that goes all over it. Going back to Plastidip. The Plastidip, I applied 3 to 4 layers depending on how smooth I wanted this. In the process, in between my layers, I would often take a texture sponge and dab it in certain areas to mimic pitting and natural weathering. Now, after your Plastidip coats are on there, I'm going to once again do something unorthodox. I caught a little bit of flack from this the other day, posting me using filler primer on foam. I do it. So, let's get into a little bit of the science behind that. Filler primer only becomes non-flexible when it creates one uniform surface. When you're using it on something like foam, especially after it's got a Plastidip base, you can still sand that filler primer, especially if you're wet sanding it. All the filler primer is going to do is fill in minor imperfections that you get from spraying Plastidip, especially if you're doing it out of a rattle can. So, after my Plastidip layers were done, I did 2 very thin coats of gray filler primer. Same stuff that you would use on a 3D print. After that gray filler primer is done, look how pretty it looks when it's just this one uniform color. I don't know why that appeases me. We're then going to wet sand the surface, especially going over these nice fine details. I liked it to make the details super smooth so that I could do more surface error damage on it with my paint passes. Once you've wet sanded the shield, you're good to go to start to your base paint. Now, for my base paint, I tried several different blues. I originally had intended on doing a chrome base, but I realized that's not necessary for this build, and I didn't want to waste materials. So I went right into the base coat of blue. The base coat of blue was simply ultramarine blue. Any sort of hobby store carries a version of ultramarine blue. It's literally just generic ultramarine blue that I got from, it's Folk Art. And then I sprayed it with my HVLP gun. I did 2 or 3 coats of it. This is going to give a nice base of blue. It is too light. As you can see, it is not this color in those clips. We'll get to that. And then we're going to go over and start prepping for our gold details. Once again, the paint job on this is relatively simple. There are 2 colors. There are blue and gold. So once you've got the blue on there and it's had time to dry, we're then going to lay it out somewhere flat, and we're going to take a raw umber or any sort of medium to medium dark brown. The reason we're going to do this is because if you've ever looked at age and pitting on gold, it has more of a dark brown rather than just black or like even a red. It is more brown in its pitting and its wear and tear. So that's what we're going to do. The reason we're going to do that is because doing any sort of aged gold effect is the opposite of what we do when we do a realistic steel effect. So when we do a realistic steel effect, we start shiny and then dull it up. With gold, it is about building up your layers and really kind of conquering the variations in shine on a piece of worn down gold or brass or gilded, whatever. So that's what we're doing here. We're going to start with a raw umber, and what I did was I took a flat sponge brush and I just lightly went over the surface. One recommendation that one of the people on Instagram said was get a foam roller, like I guess what they do for screen printing. I didn't think about that. That could work. I didn't try it. If it works for you, leave me a comment and let me know that it works, and I'll think you're a genius. So gosh, I cannot get over that shine. I'm very happy with this. Once your raw umber is done, don't forget to go along the outer trim and the plate on the backside. We're then going to move on to our first initial layer of gold. I'm using Golden Brand Iridescent Bronze. You can find this, I think I got this on Amazon. It's relatively cheap and it goes a long way. I took a regular paintbrush that had more of a spade head, and I applied it on its side. When you use an acrylic paint like this that is not super thin and you're going for the effect that we're having, it's okay to have some texture and brush strokes because it's going to add to this worn effect that we're going for. So any sort of stippling or padding or dabbing or brush effect that you're doing when you're doing these gold details is completely perfect. Once that iridescent bronze is on and it's had time to dry, we're then going to do our first pass of weathering. What I did here was I mixed a little bit of a Vallejo brown wash and some of my raw umber in a jar, and I kind of patted it everywhere around the shield, very quickly coming back with a shop rag and tap drying it off. At some points, I will use a steel wool sponge just to kind of make sure I'm getting it off of the surface and it's really settling in into the texture and really highlighting the nice textures and stuff that we've accomplished with this. So once you've got your wash and your browns on there, that is just the first coat. We're going to come back and do some more later. At this point, I went back in and I did some...
Tom! No!
The next layer of gold is what I did. I
was absorbed in thought.
The next layer of gold, I'm going to be using, once again, Golden Brand, but we're going to do interference gold. This is kind of like a highlighted, rough edge looking kind of gold. I really like it. It's very bright. It adds some flair, and that's legitimately where a lot of that realistic shine on the gold piece is coming from on this. So we're going to use a similar method with this. We're going to apply some of that interference gold with a texture sponge or whatever, but this time we're not going for full coverage. We are doing more stippling motions with this, and this is really to make sure we capture that wear and tear damage that we just did. Once again, make sure you're going over all of the parts that are supposed to be gold when you do this. After that's done, we're going to do a second pass of grime. This time I'm going to do it with a texture sponge and some raw umber acrylic paint that's not watered down. I'm going to stipple it onto the surface, not in a coverage fashion, but more of an intentional fashion. I really wanted it to stay in some places and be less in others. Once I had that stippled layer of browns on there, I then went back with a piece of steel wool and scrubbed some of it off. After that, I went in with some silver wax paint to do some silver highlight battle damage areas. So anywhere where the paint would have been worn off or chipped or where something had gashed it, do that, or scratches. I also went and used a graphite pencil. The reason I do that is because graphite, if you've been following me for a while, is shiny when you polish it. And that's the same stuff that goes in pencils. So what I'm going to do is just go over scratching and wear and tear motions over the shield where I want to add some more damage with a graphite pencil, and that's going to just give some nice surface level scratches and scrapes. Once that's done, you can take some more of that interference gold and just add some more highlights throughout the build. After that, we're going to turn the shield over, and the last little bit is adding some browns and beiges to your handle. Now, one thing I forgot to do on mine, because mine is going to live on a wall for the rest of its life, I forgot to add a leather strap right here. Do that. Do that now. Especially if you're gonna wear this as like a costume accessory, having a strap on your arm is going to make life a lot easier. Because if you've got to put all of your wrist like motion into making sure this stays in the position you want it, you're going to be worn out. But with that all said and done, here are the finished results of the shield. Very pretty shield. I love this thing. I love it a lot. Live it. Live it. Live it. There it is. That's how I did my Crest shield, or the Dragon Crest shield, or the Spirit Tree Crest shield. There's a couple others I think in there as well. I hope you learned something in this video. Again, I get way more serious when I'm talking about paint. I absolutely love the paint process of this. It's a lot of fun. I hope you learned something. I hope you can apply this to another build. Let me know what else you want me to build and paint. And yeah, I think that's about it. If you want to grab a cool shirt, my wife is making nerdy travel posters. This is the Medulla one. It's awesome, and I love it. What else am I forgetting?
Yom, old friend.
If you build anything, or paint anything, or you learn anything from my channel, please feel free to tag me or DM me and show me. I want to see. I want to know that I'm doing a halfway decent job at showing people how to do things. I think that's about it. I guess it's thumbnail pose time. Thumbnail pose.